I noticed an elegant gift box sitting by the door. My sister burst into the house fresh from her blind date and started screaming. What a complete loser. He makes less than half of what I do, and he actually expects me to stay in this dead-end town and start popping out kids by next year. Mom and Dad rushed over to comfort her, complaining about how unreliable the matchmaker was. I couldn't help but murmur softly. He seemed nice. He drove you all the way home and even brought us gifts. Phoebe let out a sharp laugh, looking at me with pure disdain. What? You got a crush on him? Makes sense. You never could compete with me. A guy like that is exactly your speed. She impatiently shoved the man's contact info toward me. I am not spending my life rotting in this boring little town. If you want him, take him. I quietly accepted the contact card. I didn't bother telling her that the car he just drove her home in belonged to the regional director of my agency. I also happened to know his family owned over 30 rental properties in town. Phoebe was still fuming when her phone buzzed. She read the text, and her face darkened even more. He is so annoying. He wants to take me to the movies tomorrow. I already said no, but he just won't take a hint. Mom quickly chimed in. Phoebe, honey, don't reject him so harshly. We live in a small town where everyone knows everyone. If you snap at him today, people will start gossiping tomorrow. They will say you think you are too good for local boys just because you work in Manhattan. Dad nodded in agreement. Exactly. Small town politics are complicated. Who knows what kind of connections his family has? If you offend the wrong person, it might make things difficult for you whenever you come back to visit. Phoebe rolled her eyes. Her gaze suddenly landed on me, her tone dripping with fake charity. Sophie, you go in my place tomorrow. Just cover for me and entertain him. Don't mess it up. I didn't argue. I just nodded silently. No one asked if I wanted to go. In this house, I never had the right to say no. To make sure I didn't mess up, I stayed up late researching the movie Ross had picked. I filled an entire notebook page with details about the plot, the hidden Easter eggs, and the director's unique cinematography. The next day, Ross looked visibly surprised when he saw me waiting at the theater. I offered a polite smile. My sister had a last-minute emergency at work. She asked me to come and apologize in person. Then, I casually mentioned a few interesting facts about the film. His eyes lit up instantly. Since you appreciate good cinema, it would be a shame to waste these tickets. Would you like to join me? After the movie, we stood in the lobby for a long time, deeply engrossed in a discussion about the ending. He insisted on treating me to dinner. The conversation flowed effortlessly. There was absolutely no trace of the arrogant, mansplaining vibe Phoebe had complained about. Instead, he was incredibly attentive. He made sure my water glass was full and asked thoughtful questions about my favorite foods. After dinner, he suddenly guided me into a high-end jewelry boutique next door. He picked out 2 gorgeous gold pendants. When I saw the price tag approaching $4,000, I froze and immediately tried to decline. He just smiled, shook his head, and handed over his credit card. I was in a rush yesterday and didn't get a chance to prepare separate gifts for you and your sister. Keep this one for yourself, and please pass the other one to her for me. I accepted the jewelry box, fully aware that he still cared about Phoebe's opinion. It made sense. Phoebe was stunning, a top-tier university graduate and an HR executive at a massive corporate firm. I was just average, plain, quiet, and completely ordinary. But I had absolutely no intention of giving that pendant to Phoebe just yet. When I got home, Phoebe glanced at my empty hands and scoffed. Wow, he didn't even buy you anything? I told you he was cheap. He takes you out and doesn't even have the decency to spend a dime. I ignored her, walked straight into my bedroom, and carefully tucked the jewelry box into my drawer. The moment I sat down, a notification popped up on my phone. Ross had finally accepted the friend request I sent the night before. I reapplied a touch of lip gloss, put on the gold pendant, and snapped a quick selfie for my Instagram story. Less than 2 minutes later, Ross liked the post. Outside my door, Phoebe was still complaining. Thank God I sent Sophie. I would have died of boredom. The guy is broke and still has the nerve to chase me. He really doesn't know his place. Mom and Dad eagerly agreed. Of course, sweetie. You are so successful. You are destined for much better things.